half hour later, I get pocket queens on the button. A player in middle position limps in. The player to his left raises to 30. It folds to me, and I 3-bet to 100. The limper folds, and the initial pre-flop raiser makes the call. We go heads up to the flop. The dealer puts out 10-7 deuce with 2 diamonds. The opponent checks. I don't know much about the player, but given the action pre-flop, I put him on hands like ace-king, ace-queen, and maybe pocket 9s, 10s, or jacks. Against this range, I don't need to bet too big. I put out 80. This gives him a chance to call with some ace-high hands, and also gives him some rope to get out of line. He now raises to 305. The only hand he's really repping that has me beat is a set of 10s, and that's certainly possible. You can also have flush draws and air though too. I'm not going to re-raise because if he has me beat, then I'd be getting it in bad, and if he's bluffing, he'll fold. I just call to keep his bluffs in, and the turn comes out, it's an 8. At this point, my buddy Sean saw that a big pot was brewing and decided to take some camera footage for me. I'm the lanky guy in the middle there. Here's my opponent. He looks a little bit perplexed, and then he checks. The action is now on me. The pot is over 800, and I only have 655 left in my stack. I feel like I probably have the best hand, so I go all in. My opponent now tanks for quite a while, and I start recording from my point of view. You can see he looks like he wants to fold, but seems to have a tough decision. I figure he probably has a flush draw or maybe something like pocket jacks. To my surprise, he throws in some chips and makes the call. I'm hoping for a brick on the river, but instead it's the queen of hearts, so I make top set. This was a huge pot. Initially, my opponent said that he had a 10 and thought I was on a flush draw. Then later he said he didn't actually have a 10, but had queen 8 and just thought I was bluffing. So not really sure what to believe, just happy to get the double up. Now it's almost midnight, and we were planning on heading to the bar at about that time, but before picking up, I get ace-king offsuit in the cutoff. One player limps in, then our buddy who raised with the 5-3 offsuit earlier raises here to 25. Generally, I'd 3-bet, but I know this guy's a little wild. He'd been opening light, and he's been bluffing a lot post-flop too. I figured if I 3-bet, there's a good chance he'd just fold, and if I make a hand, it'll be well disguised, so I just go ahead and call. It folds back to the limper, who also calls, so we go 3 ways to the flop. The flop comes out, it's ace-9-8 rainbow. To my surprise, both players check. I put out a small bet of 35. The player in middle position folds, while the initial pre-flop raiser makes the call. The turn comes out, it's another 8. The opponent checks. I don't get the feeling he's too strong, and I've got a hand I only plan on getting 2 streets of value from, so I go ahead and check back. Before the river comes out, the player bets 50 in the dark. The dealer then puts out a 6. I've under-repped my hand so far, and don't believe that he'd bet so small in the dark with a hand that's better than mine, so I raise to 150. Now my hand makes absolutely no sense from his perspective unless I have something like 7-5 for a rivered straight. In hindsight, I probably should have bet way bigger. Anyway, he tanks for a while, then makes the call and has ace-queen. He was at the top of his range pre-flop and probably would have called a 3-bet, so I might have been able to make some more money if I played my standard strategy, but I did okay this way too. That was it for the poker session. I won almost 1,300. Time to cash out and head over to the bar.